the real question, and that is the premise of the presentation of what you may perceive as challenges. How do you feel? What are you going to decide to do with this experience? What is the energetic nature, or at least the emotional capacity, for you to observe what is being presented before you that may be perceived as a challenge? You ain't being challenged, beloved. Once again, you are more than capable, way more than capable of taking care of this. Whatever it is, you are way more equipped to take care. Do you know you are the creator of these experiences? You ain't being challenged. This ain't nothing. You created, you wrote it. You wrote this in your story. What you mean challenged? What challenge are you presenting to God? What challenge are you presenting to God? What are you talking about? Challenge. If anything, these experiences, these presentations of distortions are about you recognizing your capacity to step your game up. And I use that loosely because this is not a game. This is not a game. No, it's not a game at all. And yes, sometimes experiences are extremely dramatic or hurtful or harmful or painful. Some of these experiences. But it has everything to do with being a catalyst of you recognizing your own strength, your own power. Do you know who you are? When something presents itself, do you have the capacity to be present and address the issue head on versus running or feeling that this thing is going to overtake you, or you're in fear of things being over? Do you have the capacity to remain present in the face of these ideas, of these catalysts? Okay, now I'm going to present myself this thing that may seem to be detrimental to my health or my experience or to my relationship or my financial world or what have you. Do you have the strength to be present? It's not absolutely, doula. It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. Everything is happening for you. Why? Because you're the author of the story. You created all of this. You wouldn't create anything in your experience that you didn't have the capacity to take care of expediently. You wouldn't present it to yourself as you couldn't deal with it. You couldn't take care of it. Not even like deal with it, just take care of it. Are you going to maintain your sense of balance? Or are you going to lose your cool? Can you keep your cool amongst this experience? Do you know who you are? Here's this thing, it's crashing down. Oh, you don't have the money for this. It's crashing down. Oh, this is threatened. It's crashing down. Things falling apart. Well, do you recognize that this is your story? You have the capacity to handle everything. Are you going to keep your cool and address it head on, or are you going to be controlled by the emotions and allow fear to overtake you? Absolutely, all quote-unquote struggles are illusions. These are catalysts of your evolution. Can you keep your cool? Can you acknowledge the truth in the midst of what seems to be chaos? Can you be in peace amongst what seems to be chaos? As souls, we wrote the story before we incarnate. Once again, when we incarnate, we wipe our memory of what we created for ourselves, because it's necessary for us to recognize the calling of the intuition within our heart space beyond the illusion or the forgetfulness of the mind identity. Do you recognize in your heart the knowing, the guidance, the information, the intelligence within your heart space beyond head talking and memorization and things you read and what have you, do you recognize that this is the home of infinite intelligence? Do you recognize that all of that information is always there? How present are you to connect with that information amongst this experience? Once again, beyond the head, yeah, you forgot everything because your memory was right. It's just that this is the home of all the information. How effective are you in connecting with that information within the illusory experience? You wrote the story. You created all the stuff. You got the cheat codes inside. You wrote the story. You're not without the knowing and know-how amongst the experience. Once again, most souls are interested in feeling as if they need to collect data mentally. It's just that the home and source of all information, the home of infinite intelligence, remains within the heart space. The only way to access that information in the face of what may seem to be challenges is to be present. Are you going to stress out or run around like a chicken with your head cut off and so on and so forth? Once again, can you be balanced in the face of what may seem to be detrimental to your existence? Can you be present? Can you keep your cool and access the information? You wrote the story. Can you stay grounded? Can you keep calm? Once again, you're observing an illusion. You're observing an illusion, beloved. Can you maintain your sense of balance and recognize that you can move past whatever may present itself to you and may seem to be a threat to your existence, to your stability? Can you? The only way you're accessing that information, that knowing, is you maintaining your sense of balance, you grounding yourself beyond the illusion. What am I observing? The heart has no questions, only the mind does. And of course, the mind will continue to ask questions over and over and over again. It's just that it's beyond logical comprehension. The mind will only operate from this space of logic. The heart always knows. The mind is linear, so of course, there's a lack of awareness there. When you call out what may seem to be challenges, these are expansive experiences. You expanding your capacity of trust in yourself. Do you trust yourself? When you ask yourself that question, and once again, it's basically you asking yourself, do you trust God? It's one and the same. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust God? It's the same question. Do you trust God? Oh, I don't got money to do this. Do you trust God? That is ultimately what you're asking yourself. Amongst all the chaos and distortions of the external illusion, do you trust God? That's the process of self-realization. Who are you, beloved? God, in a physical form. Do you trust yourself? That's why it's called the path of self-realization. The path of self-realization. Do you trust God? And what is your capacity of trust? All of these questions, or at least this awareness, comes with the path of walking into ascended mastery. Embodying ascended mastery comes with this awareness. I am, therefore I am blessed. This is a blessing. This experience is for you reinforcing, reestablishing, and expanding upon core principles. Do you trust yourself as a maturing soul? As a mature soul, do you know who you are? Do you know your capacity of love? Do you know your capabilities? Do you know you have access to all the resources, information, and support that you require? In every given moment, in all circumstances, all experiences, do you know who you are? Once again, the mind is the home of ignorance. That's why it's all these questions. That's why it's just a bunch of questions. Just a bunch of questions. It's going to continue to ask. But once again, this is the path of self-realization. The heart has no questions. There's only peace, acceptance, and observation of my own design. I'm here experiencing my own movie. I created every chapter of this story, and I'm observing it. Do I have the strength and the capacity to remain present and observe and know that I have everything that I need to do whatever I need to do when I need to do it at all times? At all times. Ask somebody, bro, how many times they had food in the house or in the refrigerator. Did you eat? Did you eat? Obviously, you're still here. Each and every day, more and more and more and more proof that you are safe. You will not go without. You can tell all the horror stories that you want. And once again, you're still here to tell those stories. You're still here. Yeah, it got close a bunch of times. It got close a bunch of times, but beloved, you're still here.